Welcome back to the Recap Central. Today we'll be recapping Five Nights at Freddy's 2023, directed by Emma Tammy, is a film about a traumatized man who takes on a security job at a closed-down pizzeria filled with haunted animatronics trying to kill him. Let's get started. In a state of intense fear, a security guard frantically removes a vent cover, hoping to escape from an unknown threat. Meanwhile, surveillance cameras display various rooms. The guard is apprehended and rendered unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, he discovers himself bound to a chair. A peculiar bear-shaped mask, equipped with sharp gears and springs, is gradually lowered onto his face, causing him to scream in terror. The narrative then shifts to Mike, a security guard at a mall, portrayed by Josh Hutcherson, who is waiting in line to buy lunch. He witnesses a man seizing a young boy and forcefully intervenes, attacking the man. Unfortunately, the man turns out to be the boy's father, resulting in Mike losing his job. He consults a career counselor, played by Matthew Lillard, who offers him a solitary position as a nighttime security guard at Freddy'S. The counselor explains that Freddy'S has been closed since the 1980s, with the owner retaining a lone guard to prevent vandalism. Mike initially declines due to his unavailability for night shifts. Returning home, Mike discovers an eviction notice on his apartment door. Inside, he greets his babysitter, Max, played by Kat Connor Sterling, and his younger sister, Abby, played by Piper Rubio, whom he is raising on his own. That night, Mike sleeps beneath a poster depicting a Nebraska forest while listening to a cassette tape of nature sounds. In Mike's dream, he is with his parents and younger brother Garrett, camping in the Nebraska woods. Garrett goes missing while they play, and when Mike finally locates him, Garrett is abducted by a stranger. Mike is unable to prevent the abduction. The following day, Mike attends a meeting with his Aunt Jane, played by Mary Stuart Masterson, and her lawyer. Jane is trying to obtain custody of Abby, possibly for financial assistance. The caseworker initially supports Mike, noting his central role in Abby's life, but also advises him to secure a job to maintain custody. Left with no other option, Mike accepts the night security job at Freddy'S. Mike leaves Abby under Max's care and heads to the closed pizzeria, where he discovers an old cassette tape depicting Freddy'S as a cheerful family establishment. Startled by the presence of a small balloon boy statue, Mike falls asleep and dreams again of Garrett's abduction, this time with a group of children in animal or pirate costumes. When he questions their identity, the children flee, and he awakens. Meanwhile, Jane conspires with Max and her brother Jeff to search for incriminating evidence against Mike during babysitting. They hatch a plan to vandalize Freddy'S, leading to Mike's dismissal. During Mike's night shift at Freddy'S, he brings his Nebraska poster and nature sounds tape, eventually falling asleep. In his dream, he encounters the mysterious children again, and this time, he confronts one of them. The child scratches his arm with a pirate hook before he wakes up to a noise at the door. Mike is visited by Vanessa, played by Elizabeth Lale, a police officer who covers Freddy'S in her patrol. Vanessa notices a scratch on Mike's arm that matches the one from his dream and bandages it. Vanessa informs Mike that no security guard has ever lasted on the job. She then powers up the animatronics, including Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, Foxy, and Mr. Cupcake, which briefly sing and dance before the power fails. She knows the place well and mentions its closure due to missing children in the 1980s. After Mike and Vanessa leave, Max, Jeff, and their friends break in, stealing and vandalizing the place. The animatronics come to life and begin to menace the intruders, resulting in gruesome deaths, with Freddy devouring Max. The following day, Vanessa pays a visit to Mike's residence and introduces herself to Abby. She informs Mike about the break-in incident, accusing him of leaving the doors unlocked. Vanessa also hands Mike a bottle of sleeping pills she discovered at his place and questions him about their presence. Mike confides in Vanessa, explaining that he's plagued by guilt over Garrett's abduction. To cope with his feelings of guilt and find clues to the abductor, he has intentionally been inducing dreams about the abduction. Mike reveals that he achieves these vivid dreams by falling asleep while looking at a Nebraska poster and listening to nature sounds from the time of the incident, particularly when he sleeps at the pizzeria. Since Max is no longer around, having been killed, Mike has no choice but to bring Abby with him to Freddy's. After setting up a small pillow fort for Abby to sleep in, and getting startled by the balloon boy statue once more, cleaning up the mess from the break-in, Mike goes to sleep. Abby wakes up before him and starts wandering around the pizzeria. In Mike's dreams, he engages with the children, who confirm that they were the ones abducted in the 1980s. When he asks about the abductor, they point to a drawing of a rabbit they made in the dirt. Mike is awakened by his sister's screams and rushes to find her surrounded by animatronics. To his surprise, the animatronics are not harming Abby, but rather tickling her. It becomes evident that the animatronics have a fondness for Abby, and she shares hugs and drawings with them. The following night, Mike and Abby return to Freddy's, only to find Vanessa already present. It becomes clear that Vanessa is aware of the sentience of the animatronics. Both humans and animatronics engage in games. Eventually, Mike manages to have a private conversation with Vanessa. She expresses her anger at Mike for bringing Abby to Freddy's and shows him a back room where she reveals the inner workings of the animatronics. She points out the dangerous spring mechanism that attaches the animal shells to the electronic skeletons, emphasizing the risk it poses to humans. Vanessa warns Mike to cease his search for Garrett's abductor and never bring Abby back to Freddy's. Not willing to give up his job and the opportunity to uncover the truth about Garrett, yet determined to keep Abby safe, Mike calls Joan to babysit while he goes to work. In his dream, one of the mysterious children finally agrees to speak with him, confirming their identity as the same children abducted like Garrett. They reveal themselves as the ghosts that possess the animatronics. The child offers Mike the chance to have happy dreams where Garrett and Mike's parents are still alive, in exchange for playing with Abby forever. Mike initially agrees but changes his mind. The children attack him in the dream. When Mike regains consciousness, he finds himself strapped to a chair with the same Killer Freddy mask from the beginning of the story being lowered onto him. Meanwhile, Freddy shows up at Mike's apartment and incapacitates Jane. Freddy asks Abby to come with him to the pizzeria to play, and she agrees. They both get into a taxi, startling the taxi driver, a cameo by Corey Corkskension Williams. With Vanessa's mysterious help, he manages to escape. Vanessa explains that a man named William Afton created Freddy's and used a yellow bunny suit to abduct and harm children, including Garrett. When the police began investigating, he concealed some of the children's bodies inside the animatronic suits. Upon discovering that the children's spirits now inhabit the animatronics, he manipulated them into thinking he was their father. Mike realizes the danger Abby is in and pleads with Vanessa to help save her. Vanessa tearfully explains that she can't assist, but provides Mike with information on how to infiltrate Freddy's, along with a taser to incapacitate the animatronics. Mike sneaks into Freddy's and witnesses Chica taking Abby to a back room. He tases Freddy and Bonnie before following Chica. In the back room, he discovers Chica and Mr. Cupcake attempting to place Abby inside a marionette-like animatronic. Mike intervenes, tasering the animatronics while Abby escapes the suit just in time to avoid injury from the spring lock mechanism. As they prepare to leave, the yellow bunny, who turns out to be William Afton, arrives and confronts Mike, while Foxy chases Abby. Just when it appears that Foxy will capture Abby, Vanessa tases Foxy. Vanessa then addresses the yellow rabbit as Dad. The rabbit removes its mask, revealing itself as the career counselor who had previously changed his identity from William Afton after the closure of Freddy's. In the meantime, Mike encourages Abby to remind the animatronics of William's true nature by drawing a picture of him in the yellow bunny suit, harming them. Vanessa pleads with her father to stop his actions, but William coldly stabs her. This act reverses William's manipulation, and the animatronics turn on William, leading to a violent confrontation where the spring lock mechanism impales him. In his final moments, William warns Mike that he'll return and that he always comes back. The animatronics drag William to the back rooms, while Mike and Abby carry Vanessa out of Freddy's. Sometime later, it is evident that Mike and Abby's relationship has improved. They visit Vanessa, who is in a coma, at the hospital. At home, Abby expresses her concern that the ghost children are now truly alone. She asks if they can visit Freddy's again someday, and Mike responds that maybe they will. Meanwhile, at Freddy's, William is still alive, trapped inside the bunny suit. If you liked this recap, check out our next one. The Tomorrow War, 2021, directed by Chris McKay, is a film about time travelers from the future who come to the past to recruit humans to fight in a future war to prevent extinction in the current timeline. See you guys on the next one.